important. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. If you are just getting in here, go ahead and leave a little chat there on where you're from, what your hobbies are, activities you like to do. And then if you are a realtor or a Alzheimer's staff or volunteer, I'd love to have you guys all here as we learn more about what the longest open house is. So if you haven't known, I am Kyle Olson. I am the World Record Realtor here out of Fargo, North Dakota. And today we're going to talk about the longest open house. And our agenda, we're going to talk about introducing me. So we did that part. I'm the Kyle Olson, longest open house host. We're going to talk a little bit about the mission of the Alzheimer's Association. What is the longest day? What a longest open house looks like. And then we give you a little bit of a roadmap on how to run your own longest open house and hopefully making it easier for you. My open house is 64 hours. Takes me lots of months to get it planned. But I've got a lot of systems in place that hopefully can make your life easier. So I hope you stick around and watch and see how we can help you to make an event that is amazing for you and amazing to fight Alzheimer's. So we're going to do a little bit of brainstorming and thinking about some events that we can have at our longest open house. And then we'll leave some time for the question and answer. So hopefully to get you guys out of here a little bit early. And we'll start it off here with Emily, as she can tell us about the mission of the Alzheimer's Association.
Great. Thanks, Kyle. I'm Emily Baltima. I'm the North Dakota Senior Development Manager. And just want to let everybody know we are recording this and we will send it out afterwards. So please feel free to share this with your networks and spread this event to everybody. It's a great idea. And so I've worked with Kyle for 5 years now. He's volunteered with the association for many more years than that. And I've had the pleasure of attending his longest open house, which we'll talk about more. But he's been a great advocate for the Alzheimer's Association and our mission. And you can see here, our mission is to lead the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. And for those of you that have not heard about our treatments that we now have that are FDA approved, we are in the era of treatment, which is really exciting. We have hope for treatment and a cure for this disease. And so I'm assuming most of you have been personally affected by Alzheimer's or dementia, or you know somebody. This is one of the most critical public health issues in America. It's the most expensive disease in America. It affects more people than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. And so that is why we are working so hard to find a cure for this disease. We want a cure and we want more time and more memories. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the longest day is. So this is the summer solstice. It is the day with the most light, and it's the day that we fight for a cure. And so people all over the nation are celebrating the longest day by participating in a fundraiser or activity of their choice. They can hold this activity any time of the year, but it's really, whatever is. It's a way for them to engage with their community, their network, and fundraise, but also to increase awareness of the Alzheimer's Association and how others can get involved. And as I stated earlier, I've attended the longest open house, and it is such a blast. My favorite part of the open house is the beanbag tournament. My husband's been the reigning champ for 2 years. So we'll definitely be there this year, but it's just a great event, and Kyle puts so much thought and effort into it, and it's fun to see others rallying around him in support of the Alzheimer's Association. And I also, on a personal note, want to share that I just bought a house with Kyle. 2 weeks ago, I've been in my house, and he personally donates a percentage of his commission to the Alzheimer's Association. So I just want to thank Kyle and give him a shout out, because you're an amazing human being, and thank you so much for all that you do for us. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Kyle, but thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're making me blush. I'm turning purple. Oh, red. Anyways, so thank you, Emily, for the introduction. Like I said, I'm Kyle Olson. I've gone through this with Alzheimer's it's been a long time in my family. So both my grandparents, aunts and uncles, and my dad have all had Alzheimer's, and it's been tough to see my dad put his dad into a nursing home and tell me, he never wants to be there, and then I have to go drive him to that same nursing home when he gets older, and his dementia is making it so he can't stay home. It's been just a tough thing, and I don't want my kids to go through that. So when I lost my dad 6 years ago after a battle with Alzheimer's, he'd been battling for about 16 years. I decided I needed to make a change because I want my kids to not have to deal with this, or their kids at least. And so we want to raise a bunch of money. So put a big lofty goal out there. I wanted to raise $100,000 and said, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but I want to raise $100,000. And with the help of the Alzheimer's Association, Emily with some creative ideas. And then moving along, we started with the Closing for a Cure program, as Emily stated, giving back with every closing. And that was great. It was a great way to reach towards that goal. But then I wanted to open up and do even more. So being a community advocate and a realtor, I was like, hey, how can I bring this into real estate? How can I connect Alzheimer's and something about memories and something about the longest day and all these different things? How can I connect that to real estate? And just had the idea of let's do a super big ultimate open house. What does that look like? So started Googling out there, hitting the computer and finding out that the longest one was like 58 hours, something like that. And I'm like, well, I could do better than that. So we started off in 2021, we did 61 hours, and working our way up now. This last year, we did 64 hours. And it's been just a fantastic event. We've raised what was it, $18,000 this last year. And so it's just amazing to see how this grows over the years. My clients have loved it as well. So if you're in real estate talking about your clients and wanting to get out there, here's a couple of my clients that do a fantastic Closing for a Cure sign with them. I'll have to get updated with Emily on this pictures here one of these days, but it's just a matter of, getting them involved and getting them to understand it. And then also another touch point, as these clients have been through this and I've worked with them, I now get to invite them to the longest open house every year. So a great way to connect back with those clients who have understood that my cause is to fight Alzheimer's, and that I now want to bring that cause into a community event. So I've kind of based my business around this community event. I've really spent a lot of time in finding ways to use it to be my lead generation source, my connection with my allied resources, and really everything else in between. So it does look like a lot of work. I've got some ways to make it easier for you, but for me, it has become kind of the system that I've run my real estate business around. So hopefully, if you've got a great connection to this cause, you want to adapt some of these systems into your work, or if you just want to do something simple and raise a couple bucks, I totally agree and I appreciate both realms of that. So looking forward to working together. So you might ask, what is a longest open house? I've been thinking about this and it's still a work in progress, and nothing is really a written in the stone rule here. We're trying to figure out how, we had great success with this. How can we branch this out to multiple agents doing something similar? So my thoughts are that it's longer than 2 hours, right? We want to be longer than a regular open house, but hopefully shorter than 65 hours, so I get to keep my world record. Love to have that. So somewhere in between that, a lot of people are talking about 5 to 10 hours. Love that kind of time frame. Maybe one of them is going to be in Seattle. We're going to do about a 30-hour event. So looking forward to that one. Just different ways that we're going to have fun with it. So we're looking forward to them to being between June 21st and 23rd. That's right around the summer solstice. We'd love to have them in that same period of time so we can have a ton of social media coverage and media coverage on these events. So obviously, if you want to do one the weekend before and you're not available, we're not going to say no. We'd love to have you be a part of it, but the more exposure we can get on that week of June 21st to 23rd would be amazing. Try to have some sort of community events involved in it, and we'll talk about those a little bit more. I tend to try and do some sort of a live stream at my events or some posting at the events, again, so we can try and share that and see if we can create a huge buzz on social media that weekend for the Alzheimer's Association. When you're sharing those on there, just make sure you're using the hashtag longest open house and ALZ and the longest day. And again, those will be all over everything we send out to you. So we'll make it easy for you to remember that, as well as this recording. If anybody had forgotten, it is recorded. So don't worry about taking the notes. Sit back, relax, and we'll walk you through it here. There have been a couple people who have also asked, can we use this for another charity? I think it's a great idea to work together on this, and a great way to help charities. But the systems were created to help and support Alzheimer's. So would appreciate that we keep about 50% of the attention on the Alzheimer's Association. If you can find a way to add another charity into that and not kind of muddy your message. I guess I'm okay with that, but let's try and keep it, somewhat within that guide towards ending Alzheimer's. Past low open house results. So you can see here, the first year we had the event in 2021, we had raised about $7,000. We had 12 sponsors. It was an amazing event. And then we zoom forward to 2023, where we had a 64-hour long event, raised $18,000. My son actually did a 12-hour lemonade stand on there with us. And part of that was $1,800 that he raised himself. He enjoys the event. He loves coming up with creative, fun ideas that he's going to do at the event as well, and talks about it probably weekly. That's probably one of my favorite parts about this event, is that it becomes something that I can involve my family into as well. And they just have a blast with it. So, let's see what else. We had 2 locations this last year. We had one in Milwaukee. So it was, Zach Shipler was amazing out there in Milwaukee and helped us out with that. And let's see, we set the 3rd world record, had 24 sponsors, and we also won a National Association of Realtors Volunteer Works sponsorship. So Christina out of Illinois is helping to figure out how we can branch this out for our agents. So we're looking forward to, as we have these webcasts and as we build these systems in place, it makes it easier for you guys. So that's what we got. And then you'll notice here some of the social media posts straight off my website. This is how people have enjoyed seeing the posts about the event and seeing about this event, and how much it has advanced my influence in my community based on, having these posts out there and having an event that has a great cause behind it and a lot of fun behind it. So helps me grow my business, and hopefully it helps you guys as well. Here are a few of the events that I had at my last event. You'll see that throughout the 64 hours, I found in my first year that it was hard to get people to come to a long open house when I didn't have anything for them to come there for. So you can imagine, if you're just going to say, hey, I'm going to be at this open house, come check it out. There's no reason for them to come other than like when they might normally come on a Sunday from 1 to 3, right? So I had to come up with a way that's going to draw them out more to the open house, to see the house, get more exposure to the house, get the builder more excited about having this event, have more exposure to it as well, to raise more funds, get more people out there, and just again, building memories, building community. That's what my business is about, and I hope yours is too, to try and grow all this stuff together and to grow a community around yourself and grow a community around the longest open house. So some of the events we had, as Emily mentioned, we had a great beanbag toss tournament on Friday. This is, I think, one of the easiest events that we put together. Myself and my lender partner get together and we do it. We just reach out to a couple of our allied resources throughout the couple months coming up to it, have them sign up for it, make a suggested donation of $50 or whatever to be in it. And then we do a trophy at the end and a little, gift for them or something like that. So it's a really easy donation to come on over there. It's Friday in June, so most people are either, wanting to go to the lakes or whatever, and they just want to get out of the office. So it's a great way to invite those people who have that kind of flexible schedule to be part of it, and to bring them to the house as well. Some of the other things we've done in the past, we've had food trucks come out to it. We've had the radio stations come out to it. A great way to grow that relationship as well. We've had some people make a taco in a bag stand come out and get that. The dance classes with photos with Santa, because it is actually halfway to Christmas. So guys, get those Santa pictures done, right? And so just lots of different ideas out there. So as we're thinking about this, and if you want to put in the chat, any ideas of events that you think could be really cool to draw people into an open house, I'd love to chat about those and add those into there. So think about what those events might be and throw them into the chat down there if you can think of something. Love to see those and ideas. So next section, we're going to break through here, and I'm actually going a little bit fast, so I apologize. If there's any questions anybody has, feel free to reach out as well. Raise your hand or drop them in the chat there too. So we'll try and get those answered for you. So I kind of broke it down based on the way that I was running my last event to try and make a roadmap for another agent to run an event like this. We have all kinds of agents. Some of them want to do something simple. Some of them want to try and beat my record at 65 hours, and anywhere in between. So we kind of created 3 styles in here. First style would be like a host style, where they're just going to have a 4-hour-ish event. They're going to do maybe 1 to 2 events during that time, and they might raise about $1,000 in that event. So that's kind of that first track. The middle track is going to be the champion track, and that's going to be maybe a 20+ hour event. So maybe you want to start in the morning and go until all night, something like that. Maybe you want to go late into the night so you can have maybe somebody show up at 2 a.m. Honestly, I've never had anybody show up past 11, but it's a great way to market it. So there's opportunities for you there. And then also if you want to go for the world record, so that's 65 hours this year. We're starting Friday morning, ending Sunday night. Well, you typically have probably 10 to 20 events in there to draw people out for the event for the full longest open house. We had 200 to 300 guests come through last year, ended up selling the house during the period of time. So the builder loved it. Was again able to donate more money to the Alzheimer's Association. So Alzheimer's Association loved it too, right, Emily? She's smiling.
Absolutely.
And we raised, 15-ish to $18,000. So amazing to get that done in a weekend. How do we do that? Well, I've kind of broke it down into a couple of steps in here. If you want to join with us on this, we'll break this down even more and give you more of a outline of it. But let's say we start in January. We're 6 months out from the event. Right now, I'm starting to pick my builder who I want to work with, figure out what property it is, so that I can send it to them, or so I can start putting that into my marketing materials. Start talking to 1 or 2 people who want to sponsor it. Right now we're working with actually US Bank, might be doing some amazing sponsorships for it, and might even be looking at doing some national sponsorship stuff. So trying to make that as easy as we can for you guys to connect and build it super easy for you. So we'll look for 1 or 2 sponsors, 1 or 2 events. A champion might be looking for 3 or 4 events. And then they might be, sending out a save the date postcard or something like that, or at least a post on social media that to save the date. And then we've got, myself, I'm putting it all together, sending out emails, inviting past sponsors, stuff like that to try and continue to grow it from what I've had before. March, we've got the same type of thing, looking for maybe 1 more event if you're doing a host event. Champions, try and add another couple events on there and sponsors, and then ordering some signs. We've got signs designed already. You can see one right behind me here. So we can edit that and get that sent out to you. It's got the QR code on, easy way to get people connected with all the information about your event. And you can do a little rider up on top of it with the dates or the address or whatever it is that you like to do to draw people to your open house. So again, it's all set and ready to go for you and ready to rock and roll. If you're going to do a world record, you go for a world record with me. This would be a great time to schedule a one-on-one with me. And we can kind of talk about how can we do something more creative at your house that we could definitely help you to blow up and make this an amazing event for your community. So that'd be a great opportunity for you there. I'm scheduling promotions as well at that point in time. So radio ads, TV ads, those types of things. And a lot of those places, since you're working with a charity, will give you a great discount to get that information out there. So I don't know any other realtors who love having their name out there more than that. So get your name out there for free on the radio or for cheap on the radio, commercials on TV stations, stuff like that. It's a great way to build your business outside of just, having this one event in June. So for me, like I said, it builds my entire system the entire way for the first probably 6 months of the year. Skipping ahead to May, we're now only 2 months away from the event. We probably have 4 or 5 events that are already scheduled to be at my longest open house. We've got a couple sponsors in there who have already said yes. Gonna start putting some posters up around town at the coffee shops, have them in my bag, just throw them up when I'm at a coffee shop, right? It's continuing to get that word out that this event is coming up, and so people start to see that. Also started making some business cards, and I haven't put these out there, but got a little business cards. You can do a little save the date business card for it. So again, ways to kind of share the word out to people that you are having this event coming out. And then
Hey, Kyle.
yes.
We have a question in the chat. Have you involved other senior service organizations in the event, memory care centers, etc.?
We have not as much. We've had them as some sponsors, but haven't found ways to fully invite them to help with it. But always looking for opportunities to see how we could grow that partnership. We were talking, actually was talking with somebody the other day, and we've got a memory care choir here. I haven't even mentioned this to Emily yet, but it'd be cool to have them come out and do a little concert or something. So there's just different ways of if you do have something that you could invite them out, or if they want to sponsor an hour and come talk about what their programs are, from a live stream from there. To me, what I've found, one of the shifts that we talked about this on our last webcast, a shift that kind of happened to my mindset about this event is this event is not necessarily about me trying to host the most events that I possibly can, but it's creating a platform that allows people like the memory care locations or other locations to put together an event with it. So like we had last year, we had Jazzercise came out. Simply, all I did was allow them to have their event in the garage. They sent it out to their friends and family. It allowed them to utilize, their resources and their spheres to connect to it. And basically, I'm just providing them the platform of having it at the longest open house. So there's lots of different ways once you start to give yourself some time in there, to really build those relationships and to find who's going to be a good partnership and to tap into their sphere. Because I mean, if I'm able to ask the jazzercise people who wants to buy a house, they probably don't know anybody. But if I ask them if they want who wants to come to a jazzercise class, they probably know about 50 people, right? And so those 50 people are going to come out, check out the house. They're probably going to meet me. So again, it's going to help to grow my business as well as to help to grow the cause for the Alzheimer's Association and hopefully end this find a cure to end Alzheimer's. Does that help with your question? And Amy, if you have any other ideas, feel free to drop them in there as if you think that there's ways that we could add more connection with the senior centers. Would love to see that. The days of the event. So this is another one of the big questions that people have. What are you doing for 65 hours? Do you sleep at the house? Do you like shower at the house? Like all these things. Yes, I do shower at the house. I try to do it early in the morning before people get there and lock the front doors. Yeah. But typically I'll have somebody who's been like maybe playing games overnight. So there'll be somebody else at the house as well, or my kids will be there to hang out or whatever. But yeah, you can definitely lock the front door and just say, ring the doorbell, put a sign on, be back in 10 minutes. Right. I'll sleep in the house. I'll typically try and go live every hour throughout the evening on Facebook or something like that to show engagement that I'm still there, that I'm still trying to raise money. It's been fantastic. This last year we had a flooring company that sponsored me for a matching donation. So I was Sunday morning, I was tired, I was exhausted from it, and decided I'm going to sit and lay on the floor until I can raise enough money to match the donation that this guy has. Right. So he had $500 to donation. I laid on the floor for an hour and a half, just waiting for the donations to come in, and just went live a couple times throughout that. And it's kind of been one of my favorite pieces out there because people actually, they'll have seen that on social media and be like, I remember you did that long open house thing, didn't you? And so it's just great engagement out of there and a great way to raise the money. So yeah, sleeping in the house, showing that I'm there, even when nobody else is, has been a big piece of that. And I think that's part of the reason why people will want to support you is they'll want to see some sort of a feat through it. So like I said, I'm out online every hour, but in between the hours, the secret is I'm taking a 45-minute cat nap. So works out for you, work out for whatever works for you, right? If somebody shows up at 2 a.m. and wants to see the house, yeah, let's go see the house. But we'll do what we got to do. So like I said, I haven't had anybody show up in the middle of the night yet, but it's always fun. I've fancy custom pajamas that I've had made. You can have something fun that you're wearing for pajamas, just to have some fun stuff. Have a t-shirt. Yeah, just relax and have fun. That's the biggest thing. So yes, Amy, we've got slides for you as well, and then we'll throw that in there, the recording in there, and then we'll give you links to all the print material as well. So that's my next slide, which is amazingly transitioning for me. Great job, Amy. Appreciate it. So what you get for helping us to expand this out there. I've been working, like I said, this is my 4th year doing it. So I've written the emails, I've made the social posts,
This is about that open
put it
house.
all together. I don't want anything for it. I want to see this cause expand and blow up. So we've got emails out there that I'm creating and putting templates together for you that all you have to do is go in and edit and add your name and dates and stuff like that. We're putting out invitation graphics for you to use to share to the other people as well. We're putting out Bean Big Toss invites for you, emails on that. Builder invite email to say, hey, would you be willing to help support us?
Donate something everything.
Looks like we got somebody who needs to be muted here, huh?
Well, you can't get easier than that. That's catchy and
all right. Perfect. Sorry about that. So we got all that stuff for you. We're putting together a website right now, as well as a Facebook group that will be starting to disseminate that information for you to try and make it as easy as possible. Here's some of the social media posts that we've used in the past here. So we got, the nice logo for you. Got some stuff about Alzheimer's. If you want to do a long lemonade stand, you could do posts like that. A word puzzle, just different ways to engage your audience and get them engaged on the event. So, like I said, we've got about 30 posts out there ready for it, and then we'll do some other posts for you to throw your sponsors in there or throw your events in there and just make it super easy to get the word out there that you're doing it. So. Getting started, there'll be a two-step process, really. The best way here is to join us on the Facebook group and on the Alzheimer's page. I'll drop those into the chat here for you. And so the first one is going to be joining the Alzheimer's Association's website. That is to sign up for a longest open house event. There's a $20 self-donation. We'll give you your t-shirt out for that as well. But it's amazing to get signed up and just to tell us that, yes, you want to do this, and we'll definitely start sending you information. The other thing, if you have questions or if you're thinking about it or whatever, make sure you hop into that longest open house hosts Facebook group. So we're starting this open house host Facebook group talking about the things that we've talked about in this webcast and trying to expand on them as to how I can make it easier for you guys to host a long event and to raise some funds, and then also to brainstorm on how maybe, it come back to me and we can figure out other ways that maybe my event even becomes better. So looking forward to having a great community of people who are wanting to fight Alzheimer's through real estate and kind of opening it up to that, and super excited to see how people might want to expand and do fun events. So I want to open it up here to, got one more slide, I guess, before that. Once you sign up, you'll get everything sent to your door in a nice, pretty box. So you even have some graphics and there's some fun signs you can put on the house and stuff like that. So you'll have all that for you. Now I'll open up the question and answer. I want to also hear if you have any ideas of some amazing things that you think that might bring people out to a house, or some easy ideas out there, or if you have any questions, or yeah, just throw it open there.
Kyle, I have a question for you that I think would be helpful for the group. For somebody just starting out, what advice would you give them so that they're not overwhelmed, or just do you have advice there or something you wish you knew right away?
Yeah, so I think the big things that I learned or knew right away was keep it simple. I've definitely expanded and gotten complicated and more complicated, but keep it simple. And I think that's part of what we're putting together for you, is to make it simple. Also to realize that it's a shift in creating sort of an environment for people to donate. So it's reaching out to the builder. It's a super easy conversation. I used to think it was difficult to find a builder for this event, and realizing that once the builder notices how much advertising they're going to get for their property, how many people they're going to get coming out to their property, it really becomes an easy win-win for that builder to want to partner with you on this. And so it's been a great way to create that relationship with the builders, create that relationship with the lenders, with a jazzercise club, with whatever event you're trying to bring out there. It's just been a great way for me to find ways to grow, and I hope that it works for you too, to find those people and to tap into their spheres, to get them donations and to help fight Alzheimer's.
I've got a question, Kyle.
Yeah.
I noticed on there you had like the ice cream truck, and in Seattle we have various food trucks and so on. So what we're doing is we invite them to be a sponsor, so they're going to give away free food. Or do they charge for food? Because it seemed, yeah, like how does that money thing, and somebody's going to do something with us, for us? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the food truck is probably the hardest one to find the right partnership for. What I've found with the food truck is I kind of partner it with something else that's going on. So if we've got a band or something like that, we do a food truck with the band. And then typically the food truck, you pay for the food and they get their profit for the food. But a lot of them have been willing to donate their tips maybe, or a portion of the food. So that way they're able to help provide a little bit, but they're also helping to bring people in for the band as well. So it just kind of makes it easier for you as the host to have the food truck there and to not have to worry about like feeding them or whatever, but then also having, you know, something that's able to give them the platform to advertise themselves. So they like being able to say, yep, we're going to be at the longest open house. A great social media post for them, makes them feel good. It's a great way to introduce maybe your sphere to them as they're at the band or whatever like that, or introduce the band sphere to them as well. So just kind of look at that as that win-win for everybody. And like I said, it's hard to find a food truck that's going to donate at all, but maybe you'll find somebody who's willing to, they're starting out and they want to get their name out there.
Yeah, and so so they would come, and your thinking is that then when guests come to the event, to the open house, they'd be purchasing their own food.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
And then for the band, we just do like a suggested donation thing. And so typically people will throw 20 or 50 bucks in or whatever. And
Okay.
Hey, Kyle, another question that came in is, what are your sponsorship levels?
yeah, so I try to keep my sponsorship levels pretty low. When I'm doing this, because I've got 65 hours, I try to get a sponsor for every hour that I'm either talking about or I've got an event for, something like that. So I keep them down to that 250 range to 1,000. And I just put a slide on social media, put an image up for them on the website, and then put usually a spot at the house as well. So I get, some nice shout outs for it, and then a sponsorship. But the beautiful part as well about the sponsorship is there's not a lot of cost in this. And so all those sponsorships are technically a donation to the Alzheimer's Association. So for them, it's a great way for them to just have a donation and then to get a little bit of exposure out of it. It's win-win.
Okay, so just to clarify, so when you have a sponsor, you're going to plug them in on an event, and inviting them to participate means we are inviting them to put in $250, $500, $1,000 towards the Alzheimer's Association, towards the monies that we're collecting.
Correct.
Okay. And then when people show up to do all these things, then we have a separate way for those individual guests, visitors, friends that come by to also make a contribution.
Yep.
Okay.
Kyle, do you ever have a QR code there that someone can just scan to make a donation?
Yep, it's all on my websites and everything. It's actually in the back of my t-shirts. All of them direct right to the website that has the donation page right on it. So it's super easy for people to donate right off the QR code, or got a couple of boxes there. If they've got cash as well, they can drop it in there too. But we try to make it as simple as possible. Absolutely.
Kyle, there's another question in the chat. Do you want to read that, or does everyone want to read that? It's pretty lengthy, so it's a great question. And I can actually answer the first question. The longest day is the official Alzheimer's Association event. Kyle's longest day event that he does on his own is the longest open house. So it's not copyrighted, correct, Kyle?
Correct. Yeah, so we can certainly talk about opportunities for how we can make some sort of partnership for that. But yeah, if we're gonna try and push the message or the story about all these open houses to support the Alzheimer's Association, to support the end of Alzheimer's, I think it really gets kind of a little gray when you try and add another charity in there. So it's just a matter of how do we get that to fit and to feel correct for your public. But I think there's potentially opportunities there. But yeah, I would definitely like to like to see something like that. I mean, obviously, if you want to do your own thing with same types of ideas with it, I don't have any problem with that either. Hope that answers your question there for you, Ashley.
Kyle, I received a question as well. Is closing for a cure copyrighted?
Not yet. Nope, feel free and go ahead and use that as well. Any other last minute questions? Again, make sure you join that Facebook group. If you're willing to start and host your own event, we'd love to have you sign up at the Alzheimer's Association website. Again, those addresses were in the chat. I'll drop them in again here for you. So you can grab into those as well. And it looks like that first one's not a link, huh? Some association one.
And Kyle, my name's Janet. I'm out in the Seattle Alzheimer's Association area. So thank you for hosting this. I know it's been your second year doing this. So thank you. It's super inspiring. I have a question for you. I have Linda Powell is on the call here. She's with Keller Williams out in Seattle. And she registered on your page. And I'm just kind of wondering from a partnership standpoint, I didn't realize Linda had registered because she doesn't show up on my Washington chapter. So I do want to just kind of confirm that I'm going to be Linda's, anybody that registers for this, we're going to be their local partner. Is that correct?
That's what I believe Maura has set up on that. Unfortunately, Maura's on vacation right now, but I don't know if Emily, if you can solve that, but yeah, it seems.
Okay, fantastic. I'll check back with Maura when she's back, and Linda, I will check in with you and Cameron.
Awesome. Thanks, Janet. I appreciate it.
Linda, you joined us for the last one. Have there been any questions or any ahas you've had since the last event to this event that you want to share with anybody, or what got you excited about it?
Well, I came back on because I wanted to understand this whole thing better, and have better ways to talk with people. My preferred lender is on this call. I invited Cameron Murray because I know that this feels like a big deal to me. And I put down 30 hours. I don't know. I'm signing up. It's like, how many hours do you want to do? I don't know, 30. So I assume I can change that anytime I want to. It's
You
like,
can always make it more.
yeah, oh,
No,
thank
just
you,
kidding.
Kyle. Yeah. And so I'm hearing other things like, and just understanding that we are looking for sponsors. We've got kind of levels of sponsorship, and I'm looking forward to getting the materials from you because like you said, you've put together emails and this and that, because like I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I say to people? And I network in a couple of networking groups of people in the senior living industry. And so I already have two, in addition to my lender, I've got two other people that I spoke to yesterday directly about this event. And they both said, sure, I'll help you out. And so I feel like it's going to be easy for me. Well, relatively, I think it'll be easy for me to get sponsors. And it's just sort of the coordination of the thing. One of the questions I have for you is, what about having another real estate agent involved? I'm not quite sure, like, I'm not sure your thoughts on that, and what that might look like. And the other thing that I feel like it will be difficult for me is to get a house to be hosted. I work primarily in the Seattle area, and we've got builders, but it's not like I'm in an area where we have like the subdivision where, the Northwest Pacific builders are doing a subdivision kind of thing. And so I feel like I pretty much everybody that I'm talking to about it, I am saying we need an open house or a builder to help us. So that's like the one thing I really need.
Sure. Well, I got a couple ideas there for you. Are you an independent agent? Or are you with a team at all?
I'm not with a team. I'm independent.
So I think as far as an agent goes, I mean, you could split it up between a couple agents. I don't think that that's necessarily hard. I think when I was trying to do the 65 hours, I wanted to try and be the only agent because I wanted something to say, wow, you're really doing this the 65 hours. You're really putting in some sort of a feat to it. If you're one or two, if you're an agent or two agents and you're doing, 15, 20 hours, that's still amazing, right? And so I think partnering with an agent to do it on that regards, I think was a great way and a great way to chunk it down and also to spread the word out there. You know, but that's only my opinions. Nothing here is written in stone. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm
It's
just
whatever works
kinda,
best for you too. I mean, it all depends on how you want to work your business and what your messaging is going to be that's going out. But I think, if you had a couple agents and say, hey, or you took a couple hours off and your assistant helped you or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
because I know that, legally or by the rules of our MLS, um, we have to be present at any house that we're showing or that is open. And if it's listed on the MLS. So we do have an obligation as a licensed realtor. And I'm sure you
Absolutely.
know that too, Kyle. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I get permission. I'm not typically even the listing agent on the homes. They're typically listed by an agent with the builder. So I get permission from them to host it. So I'd imagine you can get permission for the two of you to host it, right? And do something like that. You might have to, work through your own local association rules, obviously, but I would imagine there's got to be some sort of a way to solve that issue if that's what you want to do. And then the other thing for not having a house, actually Milwaukee last year they lost their house and ended up getting sold right before the event. So they switched it up a little bit differently and took the whole day of so June 21st or whatever, the whole longest day last year, and they spent the entire day doing some webcasts and looked at different houses on the MLS and talked about them, kind of did a virtual open house of them, and then spent time making just calls to their sphere and saying, hey, we're helping with this longest open house thing. How would you like to help make a donation? Would you like to, do some things like that? So I guess it wouldn't necessarily have to be in a house if that works for you, or if it was in a condo association that works, that you're going to know ahead of time, or if you have that friend who just is going to sell a house in June.
Yeah, that's
He's
what I'm trying to
fantastic.
figure out is who wants to sell in June. I just had
Great
another,
social media post right there.
yeah. Yes, exactly. If you sell your house in June, I will donate X% to the Alzheimer's. That's brilliant, Kyle.
Yeah,
That
See?
is brilliant.
all
Yeah.
kinds of wins here for you.
And I guess the other thing is the longest open house, like I'm thinking maybe it's an interesting historic home or something like that that would open their doors, so to speak, to essentially hosting the event. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's on the market.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe you have some just printouts of listings at there that are on the market, or
Right.
maybe you invite them all into your house, into your office, and you have listings all over that you can show them, or
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. I hope other people have questions. There's got to be other people with questions today.
I think the nice thing and a takeaway for everyone too is that it can be whatever you want it to be. Like you can have whatever events that are of interest to you, or I love the idea of partnering with another realtor to bring this to life, and you can change it. You can see what works and what doesn't. Kyle's changed things, added things from year to year, and it's whatever you're interested in and what you want it to be. It's your dream and your fundraiser, and we're here to support you.
Well, I guess if there's no other questions, we don't need to necessarily hold everybody around here and let's get back to lead generating and finding their sponsors. But I appreciate you guys all being here. And like I said, this recording will be available. We are working on a new website, which will have agent resources for you guys to be able to download and get connected with this, as well as to be able to showcase your events. So actually working on that today, and I think that should hopefully be hitting a little preview of that should hopefully be hitting the Facebook group here soon. So make sure you're joining the Facebook group, asking questions in there. Love to answer any questions you guys have, and let's continue the conversation as we work towards a cure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kyle. This is great.
You're welcome.
Great job, Kyle. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Y'all take care.
You too.